Dear student, today we are going to discuss two important elements of economic system. One is exchange and second is money. Both are interrelated. Without money we can't exchange, and if we want to exchange, money is essential. So we will discuss about the exchange as well as money. Meaning and definition of money, meaning and definition of exchange, and functions of money. And different stages. When we classify the economic system, then four important categories are there. One is hunting and food collecting stage, that is exchange in hunting and food collecting stage. Second stage is pastoral stage, that is exchange in pastoral stage. And third is stage known as agricultural stage. It means in that stage what type of exchange is there, exchange in agricultural stage. And fourth is modern stage of economy, that is industrialized or industrial stage. Similarly, we also discuss the functions of money. When we talk about the exchange and money, we know that nothing is available without cost. We have to pay something. We want to buy wheat, we have to pay money. We want to purchase a laptop, we have to pay money. We discuss every day that nothing is available for free in the market. If we buy sugar, we pay for it. If we want to buy wheat, it is bought with money. Even if one person congratulates the other with a smile, the other will reply with a smile. That is social exchange between two persons. It is said that from all these examples that exchange is the transaction of goods. In economics, exchange is the transaction of goods and services with money. When money was not in circulation, the exchange of goods and services for goods and services was in vogue. Such as a person used to get cloth or milk or other things in exchange for wheat, and a person used to get wheat or other things in exchange of money. That was known as the barter system, goods for goods and things for things. The meaning of exchange in traditional and modern societies is not only related to the economic side, but it also includes utility, social and psychological elements. These three are the bases of exchange. This is the economic aspect of exchange. Benefit is essential for exchange, but the social side is that exchange is an indicator of cooperation and participation, and the psychological side is that the person receives mental satisfaction from the exchange. It means exchange has three different dimensions. It is also important to note here that exchange and money are closely related to each other. Without exchange, we can't discuss about the money, and without money, we can't discuss about the exchange. In the absence of one, the other cannot be discussed. Scholars of social science disciplines have always treated one in relation to the other. Since money is always used as a medium of exchange, that's why we will first discuss about money and later about exchange. So we will discuss the meaning and definition of these two words, that is money and exchange. The first word is money. Money came into existence to overcome the shortcomings of the barter system. Previously, when money was not there, then barter system was prevailing in the society for exchange. Earlier, people used to exchange goods and services in the form of commerce. This often resulted in many pitfalls, one of which was a double coincidence of wants. To solve this problem, a standard medium of exchange, money, was introduced. A question arises: what is money? Money, that medium of exchange which is centralized, generally accepted, recognized and facilitates the transaction of goods and services, is known as money. Money is a medium of exchange for various goods and services in an economy or in an economic organization. Money systems vary by government and country. Different countries have different currencies. In India, we pay in the form of rupee. In America, the currency is known as dollar. Similarly, in Britain, currency is known as pound. The central authority is responsible for monitoring the monetary system, and there are many forms of currencies, and cryptocurrency is the newest form of currency and can be exchanged internationally. Money as a medium of exchange is something that people give to get goods or services, but it can also be something that people accept to deliver goods or services. According to Zizzer, money is the only exchangeable and completely impersonal instrument. The second element after money is that is exchange. Exchange is fundamentally concerned with the analysis of situation in which bargaining takes place between two or more persons who want something from each other, and they are motivated to get the maximum benefits with the least amount of expenditure. Exchange is a theoretical approach that emphasizes the predictive and negative aspects of interactions such as rewards, benefits, and cost. This theory is very similar to the way in which we see behavior in everyday life, that is known as the social exchange, and Homans and Peter Blau discussed about the social exchange in the society. We call exchange a process of transaction. This process is based on mutual dependence, which has two characteristics: cooperative and competitive. The cooperative feature of exchange means shared profit. This implies that the cooperative features of exchange involves benefiting both parties through the exchange process. The second exchange, that is competitive, this process refers to the internal conflict within the exchange. Explaining the exchange, Piddington states that the gift system of primitive societies, which is part of an exchange, is seen as a principle of reciprocity. One is giver, second is recipient. The principle of reciprocity is one in which it is the duty of receivers of a gift or things to return almost similar things to the giver. It is not necessary that he has to do this work immediately. After some times they will do in the same manner, but sometimes it is also done in the occasion of any festival or birthday or New Year or marriage anniversary, etc. Even today, when we go to our neighbors, relatives and friends on the occasion of marriage, birth and death, etc., then we also hope that on our auspicious and inauspicious occasions, our well-wishers behave in the same way as we did. When presenting a gift at someone's wedding, it is expected that a gift of equal value should be received on such an occasion. When we talk about the primitive societies, in primitive societies the exchange system is known as the barter system. In primitive societies there is not only gift for exchange, but a form of trade is dumb exchange. We can say dumb exchange means silent exchange or quiet exchange, in which there is no bargaining. Dumb exchanges are found among the Vedas of Sri Lanka and the Rajis of Uttar Pradesh. These people keep the things produced by them at a place in the darkness of the night and leave a sign of the things they need in return. The former group comes on the second day and takes away the things kept. We can also call it quiet trade. Primitive people also do business with their enemies. The Simang pygmies of Malaya trade the goods collected for the forest with their enemy tribe Sakai. The Carthaginians also carried on silent trade with tribesmen living on the northwest coast of Africa. They light a fire by placing objects on the shore. Seeing the smoke, the tribal people come and take the things they need and keep gold in return. After some times, the Carthaginians come and take away the gold. When the amount of gold is low, they wait even in the logging to get more. When they get the desired amount of gold, they return. Many tribes trade regularly. The Nagas of Assam trade in handicrafted textiles, the Bhils of Rajasthan in agriculture produce, the Todas in milk, and the Kotas in bamboos. The Trobianda islanders called barter Gamwali, the Bushmen called barter Sachpera. This is a process of exchange between two community, two party or two individuals. So, what type of exchange prevailing nowadays or in primitive society? If we know about the history, we can say that from ancient to modern, different type of exchange is prevailing in primitive as well as in civilized or industrialized society. From the very beginning, man has lived in communities, and in those communities it was customary to use money in the form of commodities. Money also existed in the form of metal things like gold and silver. However, the constitution of money in any given social system varies from time to time and includes various tangible things accepted as substitutes for money. It means this silver and gold are the means of exchange. A study of different societies reveals that through the ages, wealth has been understood and felt in different ways. The different forms of money acceptable in a society largely depend on the needs of the people in these societies. There are two forms of money. One involves the exchange of goods for goods and the other involves the exchange of money for goods. First was known as barter system and second is the base of money for exchange. But through times and space and through the development of human civilization, different stages of development of wealth are traced. Initially, money developed as a commodity based on the barter system, transferred through metal money, that is coins, paper money, that is bank notes, and credit money, that is checks, and today the money is plastic money, that is known as credit and debit cards. Similarly, e-money is used for online transaction. However, the commodity in each successive society are different from the other and can only be understood separately. It means the use of money as a means of exchange. So, first is exchange in hunting and food collecting stage. That was the first stage of economy or economic organization. The first form of economy was hunting and food collecting stage, which is called the most underdeveloped stage. In these societies, man used to fulfill his needs through hunting and gathering, that is gathering of foods. The most surviving condition in such societies was the property obtained from hunting, which had some value acceptable to all. For example, the skins of hunted animals were being exchanged for clothing and other needs were met by exchanging flowers and fruits. Thus, it became one of the earliest objects. Even today, this type of economy is seen in Kadar, Chechu in India, Vedas in Sri Lanka, most of the natives of Australia and Bushmen of Africa, etc., where goods are exchanged for such goods. In addition to the trading money earned through hunting, people also exchanged weeds and roots as food and used them for medicinal purposes. Goods for goods, services for services, known as the barter system of economy. The second stage is known as pastoral stage. Pastoral economy was the second stage after hunting and food gathering, in which humans started rearing those animals which were beneficial for them, like cows, buffaloes, camel, goat, horses, etc. While there was a transition from hunting and gathering societies to pastoral societies, commodity money also marked a change. Thus, a significant change in the nature of commodity money from the skin and furs of hunted animals to commodities such as cattle, which formed expensive but negotiable form of commodity money. These domestic animals were suitable for quick relocation and were kept as livestock for a longer period of time than the skins or fur of hunted animals. Similarly, the third stage is known as the agricultural stage, and in that stage exchange system is somehow different from the pastoral as well as hunting and food collecting stage. Ever since man acquired the knowledge of agriculture, a new type of economy was born. In agrarian societies, commodity money existed in the form of produce from farms. Humans have included vegetables, fruits, maize, rice, wheat, etc. in addition to other cultivable products of daily use in the produce obtained from agriculture. Also, some types of animal food such as eggs began to be used as commodity money in agricultural societies. At this stage, it does not mean that money did not exist, but people in this stage put more emphasis on barter, and money was used to buy those things or goods or services which were not available to be exchanged for goods. Although this form of commodity money still exists in rural India, there has been a change in the type of money used for exchange. And the fourth stage of economy is industrial stage or modern forms of economic exchange. The fourth stage in the evolutionary stage of economy is the industrial scale economy, in which along with agriculture and animal husbandry, small handicraft business is prevalent in many societies, but the economy completely dependent on industry is seen only in modern societies. However, in industrial societies, agriculture is also done along with it. Both are simultaneously found in civilized society or industrial society. Eisenstein says that in modern societies, it is used for exchange of money in a monetary economy. Bank notes and checks are both accepted as legal form of payment currency in modern societies, which arose because of the growth and expansion of modern technological advanced banking. Due to legitimation of currency, currencies are exchanged in different countries. However, the development of paper money is not a manifestation of the disappearance of metal money. Even today, paper currency is strongly backed by metallic currency in the form of gold, in the sense that it is an easy task to convert paper currency into gold at the time of demand. As a result, there was a sudden jump in the price of gold and silver. After the convertible feature of paper currency into metallic currency, bank notes became the only accepted form of currency, as it was considered legal tender. While some negative aspects of paper money, such as being easily stolen and difficult to transport in large quantities, led to the development of the modern banking system, in which check is the means of exchange. Although the check evolved as a portable form of money, it did not replace bank notes. Both bank notes and checks started being circulated simultaneously. For large transactions, checks are the most important medium, while for a small transaction, bank notes are the means of exchange. It means the money that in the form of checks or in the form of cash is important in industrial society. So, what are the functions of money? Now, we discuss about the functions of money. Barter system refers to the exchange of goods and services with two or more parties without the use of money. Exchange of goods and services was very difficult in this system. Money facilitates exchange and overcomes the shortcomings of the barter system. Now, barter system has been replaced by the money exchange system. The functions of money can be defined in such a way that it is used in exchange or other transaction of goods and services, and its main importance is in the form of exchange. Money is the important means of exchange. If we want to purchase anything, we have to pay money. Money in society can often be understood in terms of three functions or services it provides. Money as a medium of exchange, money as a store of values, and money serve as a unit of account. When we talk about the money as a medium of exchange, the most important function of money is as a medium of exchange to facilitate transactions. Without money, all transactions would have to be done by barter, which involves the direct exchange of one good or service for another. The difficulty with the barter system is that in order to obtain a particular item or service from a supplier, a person must have an item or service of equal value that the supplier also wants. In other words, in barter system, exchange can take place only when there is a double coincidence of wants between the two parties to the transaction. However, the chances of double coincidence of wants are low, and this makes the exchange of goods and services difficult. Money effectively eliminates the problem of double coincidence of wants by acting as a medium of exchange that is accepted by all parties in all transactions, regardless of whether they desire each other's goods and services. It means this is one of the important functions of money, that is means of exchange. And second important function of money is money as a store of value. Another function that money can perform is as a store of value. Money acts as a store of purchasing power. If we have more money, we have more purchasing power. Purchasing power is reflected in the amount of money saved for future purchases. When people receive money, they do not spend all the money and save a part of it for future use. Take an example of an industrial society. We can say that a worker who receives some money in return of labor spend only a part of it and save some part of that money which it uses during scarcity, which can ensure future exchange. The idea behind a store of value is to use money as a channel for use in future. The money saved from this can be used in the interval of time and its purchasing power remains. This helps the individual to transfer purchasing power to the future. As a result, the value of money is maintained over time. As a store of value, money is not unique in itself. Along with this, there are many other stores of value such as land, works of art, gold, silver, etc. Because it depreciates with inflation, money may not be the best store of value. However, money is more liquid than most other stores of value because as a medium of exchange, it is readily accepted everywhere. Furthermore, money is an easily transportable store of value that is available in many convenient denominations. This means that money does not require any conversions to determine its value or to make a purchase. This in itself is a value. Money, being the most liquid, is a good store of value because its value is fixed and does not change even with time. Money as a store of value has the following advantages. It was very difficult to store money because of the perishable nature of the commodities and the high cost. Money provides a solution to this problem, as one can accumulate wealth for as long as possible. Money has the quality of universal acceptance. Therefore, one can use money in exchange for goods and services at any time. And money is easily portable, and saving money is much easier and more secure than holding stuff for future use. And the third important function of money is money as a unit of account. Another function of money is that it also serves as a unit of account. Money is providing a common measure of the value of goods and services to be exchanged. Knowing the value or price of commodity in terms of money helps both the supplier and the buyer of the commodity to decide how much of the commodity to supply and how much of the commodity to buy. In a barter economy, one does not know how much each item is. In such a situation, there is difficulty in measurement, whereas money as a unit of account helps in measuring the value of goods or services to be exchanged. For example, if we measure the monetary value of 1 kilo ghee and 1 kilo of edible oil, say ghee cost rupees 600 and oil cost rupees 200, we will say that ghee is 3 times as expensive as oil. In this case, the relative value of money and goods can be easily compared. The price of goods are measured by their monetary value only. Money as a unit of account is used to compare the prices of different goods. This means that the measure of values depend on the medium of exchange. Apart from the three important functions of money, another function is standard of deferred payment. In the barter system, there is no proper standard of deferred payment, which makes it difficult to execute credit transaction, as the borrower may not be able to arrange goods of similar quality at the time of repayment. Money solves this problem by providing a reasonable standard for deferred payments. This has led to an increase in lending and borrowing transaction and has contributed to the creation of financial institution. So, these three are the important functions of money: as a store value, as a accounts, or as a means of exchange. Now, we can say that money is a liquid asset that is used to facilitate transaction of value. It is used as a medium of exchange between individuals and institutions. It is also a store of value and a unit of account that can measure the value of other goods. These three are the important functions of money that is used in civilized or industrialized society. Before the invention of money, most economies depended on barter, where individuals directly traded what they had for what they needed. This raised the problem of double coincidence of wants. A transaction could only take place if both participants had something the other needed. Money eliminates this problem by acting as an intermediary commodity. The first known forms of money were agricultural commodities such as grains or cattle. These items were in high demand, and merchants knew that they would be able to reuse or trade these items in the future. Cocoa beans, shell, fish and agricultural tools also served as easy forms of money. The economies became more complex. Money was standardized into currencies. This made it easier to measure and compare prices, thereby reducing transaction cost. Furthermore, the representation of money became increasingly tangible, from precious metals and stamped coins to paper banknotes, and in the modern era, the electronic record. Similarly, we can also use many electronic measures, many electronic apps for transaction of money from one party to another, like PhonePe, like Paytm, like PayPal, etc., etc. These are the forms of exchange of money that is known as electronic means of transaction.